Hello everyone, hope everybody's having a great weekend. I had a request. I found it a little odd, but Keisha, this is for you. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. It's actually a beautiful day here today. I've got this quilt to put together before about 1 o'clock. It won't take me long. All the pieces are cut. Just a matter of putting out all them pieces together and forming a quilt. But Keisha wanted to see my order book. Now, I will, this is my last year's order book, because this year's order book, I did things completely different. And I'll tell you how I did things differently. And when you start something out, it's like an evolution, and things change because you see a better way of doing things. This is the way I did it for a good while, probably for the first, well, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is how I did my orders. The first year, I probably didn't have a notebook. Probably just wrote everything down on a piece of paper, but I only did 15 quilts for people that year. I started in the summer, and by Christmas, I had done about 15. So not a big, thought I was in high cotton, but turns out that was just the beginning. And so, but this is how last year's order book ended. Now, as you can see that or not, the pages that are folded in half represents an order. Now, an order could have been 1 quilt or 2 quilts or 4 quilts, or in some cases 5 quilts. But when the pages are folded, that meant they were done. They'd been shipped out. So the back of the book has got some pages that have not been folded, and I'll show you those in a minute. And then I'm going to show you how I do it now. This is the first order that I received in 2018, and it was for a throw size Alabama quilt, and it went just down the road, not very far. I probably did mail it to them. I don't think they came and got, they may have came and got it, but I probably mailed it to them. And and then I put down the total of the purchase, and then how much they paid a deposit. That way I'll know when I get done how much they owe on it. And like this one went to Shelby, Alabama. I'm not sure where that is. It's got to be somewhere around the middle of Alabama because of the prefix, which can be deceiving, because North Alabama is 256. That says 205, but they could have been at 205 when they bought their phone and moved anywhere they wanted to go. But anyway, Shelby, Alabama. This is actually for a t-shirt that was embroidered. And probably a lot of these first. Now, this is a full size, black and blue. This would have been a memory quilt. And it was a local, because there's no address. It was a local delivery, drop off and pick up. It was a full size black and blue. And black and blue means that's the 2 color combinations they wanted to use on their quilt. And it goes on and on and on. This is another t-shirt, or another sweatshirt. This was a king size quilt that went to Florida. This was a flag rag quilt, and it turned out absolutely gorgeous. This girl ordered it for her toddler son, and it was so pretty. And it went to Southside, Alabama. I believe that's outside of Birmingham. And a baby quilt with a name, O-R-E-N, Owen. I guess maybe another way of spelling Owen. I don't know. But this was a baby quilt, and it went to Louisiana, and it was personalized. But anyway, at this point in time, all of the orders, whether it be a sweatshirt, or that was embroidered, or a quilt, or a memory quilt, or anything like that, it was put in this book like this. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of folded pages. I think last year I ended up doing 385 quilts at the end of last year. And it just went, this guy right here in Dothan, He has come back and ordered, I believe he's come back and ordered more quilts. But he ordered a king size. And this girl ordered an 1, 2, 3. This is a 3 quilt order page. And this is a 2 quilts. And then I scribbled down random addresses throughout the book. Here's another section of quilts and embroidery and whatever. This was the Alabama basket that had a baby quilt in it. It had a onesie. It had a burp cloth. And then it was put inside of a cloth basket that I made, and then put it inside of one of the basket bags and tied it up. It was adorable. And what? So this was for one of the little dresses that we were embroidering. So anyway, this just goes on and on and on and on and on with all the quilt orders, and they were folded as soon as they were done and shipped out, so that way I knew the folded pages. I didn't have to open them up and look at those anymore. This is a really good, really sweet customer right here that's ongoing. She orders stuff all the time, and she had ordered a throw, a full-size quilt, and I think she got another throw. But anyway, and then this is where I jotted down this little saying, and I thought I might do something with this at some point. And the saying had more to it than it says here. I don't remember where I saw this. It might have been a quote I heard, like, somebody say on a TV program or something, and I jotted it down the best I could remember because I really thought it was really cool. And it's a mother-in-law is the most criticized, the most misunderstood, and the most defenseless of all women. That is a true statement. I actually have I have a daughter-in-law, Haley, and she's a wonderful, wonderful girl. Well, she's not a girl anymore. She's a woman. She's got 3 boys, and her and my son, and they're just a really, really great little family. And I think the world of Haley. I've known Haley since she was in the 2nd grade, and I've always loved Haley. She's an all-around girl. She's an RN, and she is the clinic manager over the dialysis center in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And she's got 3 boys, and they're just really great. And then my son, he works hard, and they provide for their family, and just a sweet, sweet family. And then my son-in-law, which happens to have the same name as my husband, which is Kevin, couldn't ask for a better son-in-law. He's just a great guy. He is a sergeant in the United States Army, and he is stationed at Fort Rucker, Alabama now, which we're so glad to have them back in Alabama, which when they were at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, they were closer than they are now. But still, I'm glad to have them back in Alabama. And they've never been that far from home. He's been stationed in Georgia, Alabama, in Georgia, 2 places, in Alabama, and in the Kentucky-Tennessee line. So they've never been really far away. And so we love our Kevin. We love our Kevin a lot. And him and my daughter, they've got 4 children. They range from 18 down to 20 months. And they're very attentive parents. And their children say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and yes, and thank you, and no, thank you. And they're very polite. And I appreciate that. And so, but I just thought that was a really cool saying. And I probably do get misunderstood, but my son-in-law and daughter-in-law have enough respect that, you know, they don't hold a grudge. So, like that. And this back here is where this is a 5-subject notebook. So on the 5th subject is where I started writing down the Santa bag orders. And this page represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 Santa bag orders on this page. And it goes, and it's the whole thing in Santa bags. I need to count up to see about how many I did last year. This year I figured I'd done about 300. But this is, and like this order right here is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I saw one order that was for about 13. This one is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so it's very difficult to keep up with these sometimes. It just goes crazy. Here's one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I know there's one in here that's for like 12 or 13. So, and then here is a quilt order thrown in here in the middle of this. I don't know, but my book must have just been open to that page that day for a queen size and a throw size quilt. And, but yeah, it just goes crazy. But now, the new improved system that I use, and these are just address labels where I've stuck on the back here that was orders. Only I can understand, only I can read my orders. They're not coded. They're just in my craziness, my crazy mind. I saw a sign, one of those picture looking signs at Hobby Lobby yesterday. And I don't mean this to sound the way it's going to sound, but I thought, I need that. A lot of people may think I'm weird because sometimes my brain thinks faster than I can explain myself. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. But the sign said, weirdness is a byproduct of greatness. So I thought, I need somebody to buy that for me and let me hang that in the shop so I can keep reminding myself. I do not consider myself great at all. I'm very humble, but I just thought that was funny. Weirdness is a byproduct of greatness. But anyway, I'm going to show you my new system. Let me go over here to my bulletin board and get part of the new system. It's a lot simpler now, a lot less writing for me, a lot more talking for me. All right, here's a couple examples. I usually throw these away as I get them done, but sometimes the letters are just too awesome to throw away. This lady sent me a quilt top that she wanted to be quilted. And so I didn't actually make the quilt. I just quilted it for her and put the bind. I don't even think I put the binding on it. I think she wanted to do the binding herself. And it has her name, her address, her phone number, and it says backing off white. If you need to put tape back of embroidery square, go ahead. I don't know what that means, so I just ignored that part. So I did quilt that in off white for her, but it's got her name, her address, and her phone number. And when I quilted the top, I put this on the bulletin board, so when I got ready to ship, I had her address handy. This letter came from Colorado, and it says, thank you for making such awesome quilts. And it has a little bit of history about her friend and about her friend's husband. And she wanted to get some quilts made for her friend's husband out of her clothing. She had passed away. And it's just a little brief history about him. It says, her husband is lost, and I mentioned her flannel PJs as a quilt. His eyes lit up. He has a queen bed, not a king. Any chance you could squeeze 2 or 3 little throws for her daughter and 2 grandkids? And has her name, her address, her phone number, an alternate phone number, and then here is a copy of this page. And I don't know why she sent me a copy, but these were together. And so now when the t-shirt, when I picked up this t-shirt quilt that I'm going to be working on, I picked this up when last time I went down to my daughter's house. A customer met me at my daughter's house, and I picked this up. And I've got to get this done because I'm going back down to my daughter's this weekend, and I want to take this with me. And because that was kind of part of the thing I told the lady, that she said, maybe you can bring it back the next time you come down here. Well, this will be that I went down there Labor Day weekend, and this will be the next time I'm going down there. So I hope she'll be in town that she can pick it up. But if not, I'll bring it back home with you, or leave it with my daughter, and she can pick it up from my daughter's house, because she does live in the same town as my daughter. But when I picked it up, I had told her ahead of time what I required. And I required in with the shirts to put a note, and she did, with her name, her phone number, her address, the two colors she wanted to use, and then any other information that she wanted to give me. And it says queen size t-shirt quilt for daughter for high school graduation on May 2020. And so, you know, this comes with every box of shirts, or bag of shirts, or whatever that's sent to me or brought to me or whatever. And this is just everything I need to know about this lady. I know her name, I know where she lives, I know her phone number, I know the two colors she needs. So this piece of paper stays with these shirts until they are either mailed back or picked up. And when I cut the shirts out, I put them, when I get all the pieces that I need for the quilt, all the shirt pieces cut, I put them inside these big heavy-duty Ziploc bags. I get these at the Dollar Tree. This size bag is, you get 2 for $1. And then they have an extra large bag, and it is a mammer jammer, let me tell you. I mean, it's a big bag. And sometimes I use those, like if somebody just totes their shirts into my shop and they're not inside of a bag, I'll open up one of those extra large bags and stick their shirts in there. And those shirts will ride in that bag until the quilt is ready to put together. But inside this bag will be the shirts that are cut out, when I get them cut out, and the note will go inside. So when I get ready to put this one together, because I might cut out 6 or 7 quilts on a weekend, watching TV with my husband, watching movies with my husband or something, because he's home every weekend. And when I get through cutting the shirts out, I roll them up, tie them up, and this note is inside of those shirts. So when I cut that string and unroll these shirts on my machine, I'm like, okay, Miss Tiffany, we're working on your quilt, and I got all the information I need to know. And then, of course, this bag is retired then for the next person's shirts. And then I usually, when I get ready to quilt it, I put this on my bulletin board. And I know quilts, I mean, you spend enough time with them, I don't even have to pin this to the quilt top, because by this time I'm close and up personal with each one of these quilts, and I know when this quilt gets done exactly who it belongs to. And there's always a hint on every quilt as to who it belongs to. Like there'll be something that'll have the name of the town, the name of the town, the name of the school, or something that will identify this quilt to this person. And so, but right now, hanging up, my orders hanging up there inside these bags. I think there's like 5 or 6 hanging up there now. I've got 4 t-shirt quilts to cut out. But I had myself a goal that I set about a month ago of what I wanted to get done before Thanksgiving, and this is the last one to get done before Thanksgiving. So, also, somebody asked me a question about the little spring action applique trimmer scissors I had the other night when I did the flamingo blanket for that lady. And those little spring action little curved nose scissors, very sharp, gets into all the little nooks and crannies of trimming an applique. Only place I've ever been able to find those. You might could find them on Amazon, I don't know, but the only place I have ever bought them is at an authorized sewing machine dealership, like, you know, a place that you would go to buy a sewing machine, like an embroidery machine, or Brothers, or or Janome, or, you know, whatever machine that you have, they have those in that store. They run, I guess depends on which store you're in, how much they mark up their stuff. Excuse me. But they run about $12 or $13. And they're kind of disposable because they're not sharp. You cannot sharpen them because of the curve on the end, and because they are such a little thin blade. So, and I bought a pair back in January when I went down. I had to go down to South Alabama back on January 2nd. My son-in-law called me, and everybody in the house had the flu. And he had his hands full. And I got ready, and within an hour, I was on the road, headed to South Alabama to go and help him out. And my daughter had it, the two teenagers had it, and then, well, one of them's not a teenager yet, but she's getting close. And then the little 1 year, well, he was about 9 months old at the time, he had it. And so I went down there and helped a couple of days with them. And then when I headed out, I stopped at Enterprise Sewing Center or something like that and picked up a new pair on January 2nd. And I bought a new pair about 3 weeks ago, I guess. And so they last for a long, I mean, and I'm talking about cutting out some appliques. I'm not talking about making yourself a shirt for Thanksgiving and then making your granddaughter a shirt for the first day of school. I'm talking about hard working. So if you just did a shirt here and there and never, you know, just did a little bit here and there, those shirts will last you for, those scissors would last you for years. But I'm talking about cutting out some appliques. Let me show you what Miss Bethany got done for me yesterday. She came over yesterday and got this quilt finished for me. I got to put this one together. This is a special order. Now, why is there two of those? And two of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She just made 2 extra ones. I don't know why. And these could have possibly have been done before, and she just put them in the pile. I don't know. But I only need 6 for the quilt I'm going to be making for this lady before Christmas. But that is how I do my orders, how I keep up. Also, if all embroidery now, like the stadium blankets we've been doing, and the Santa bags, and I've got to do a sweatshirt for a lady. Forgot where she lives, in the Carolinas, I think, maybe, or maybe she lives in, I don't know. Her whole family is going to Disney World for Christmas, and she wanted a shirt made for that occasion, and so but I can't go and pick up a shirt until Tuesday. My supplier for my shirts and sweatshirts and all that is not open on Monday, so I will have to go tomorrow and pick that up. And oh, what I was saying is, anything that goes on the embroidery machine, we buy those little, we used to call them shorthand notebooks, the little steno notebooks that has the spiral at the top. Any embroidery now goes in that, and it's hung on a little hook on the shelf beside the embroidery machine, and doesn't have to be taken off the hook. You can still flip the pages with it on the hook, and Bethany goes through it and fills the orders. And when she fills an order, she folds the page up, flips it back, and then works on the next order, folds the page up, flips it back. And then when she leaves, I will go through those orders, unflap them, unfold them, and take that particular order, bag it up, package it up, addresses on there, and then I rip that page out, wad it up, and throw it in the trash. That way, I know, we both know that that has been embroidered, it's been packaged, and it's been shipped. So when she comes back the next weekend to help me out, she knows where to start. She knows exactly where she needs to get started. So not organized around here too much, but we do the best we can. I mean, it's almost impossible to be perfectly organized, but that's the system that we do now. I don't see that system changing next year at all. I'll buy I have a new notebook for this year, but actually by doing so many of the t-shirt quilts and having these notes that go with them, I've only used one subject of that 5-subject notebook this year. And then all the Santa bags, everything else, all the stadium blankets went in the little shorthand notebook. A lot of people might not even know what shorthand is, but when I went to school, computers took up a room. One computer took up a whole part of the classroom, and it was the kind that had the punch cards. And I don't even remember how you fed the data into the computer, but then it throwed out these punch cards in these slots, and I don't know how you knew which slot to pull them out of, but there would usually one single one fall into a slot by itself, and for some reason that was the one. And then you were supposed to know how to read the holes that were punched into it. That was the computers that we were learning to operate when I was in school. My goodness, haven't they come a long way? Wow. And so that's why, people like me, unless you went back to school and took some extra classes in computers, you are left here defenseless, not knowing how to operate, how to do these things. I mean, I do okay. I mean, I know how to go on the internet, find a design that I want, a design that I need. I know how to purchase that design, transfer that design to my files, and then from the files, send it to my sewing machine so that I can embroider that design. I can do that. But when it comes to, editing videos for YouTube, I have no idea. I am absolutely, and my daughter, she's 21, of course, she knows all about it, and she won't help me. She says that she's busy, and she, face it. She's 21 years old. She lives at home, doesn't do her own laundry, doesn't cook her own meals unless she wants something in particular, and she works 40 hours a week. Well, it's probably 32 to 40 hours a week. There's 168 hours in a week. What do you do with that other 128 hours? That's what I want to know. Because you sleep an average of, 56 hours a week? Well, that still leaves like 70 hours, something like that. So what are you doing that other 70 hours? You could work another job, but you don't have time to help me. So, an announcement I need to make. YouTube has got a new policy, or I don't know what they call it, but it takes effect June the 10th. I'm not June the 10th. Good Lord. I need something to eat. My brain's starving. It takes effect December the 10th. Now, it's very vague on what it means. Something about commercial benefit, blah, blah, blah. But they're going to be deleting some channels. Nobody knows who this is going to affect until June the 10th. My channel could be completely gone, wiped out. I may no longer exist on YouTube. But if that happens, then I will restart it. So after December the 10th, if you are looking for me and are looking under your subscribers or notifications from me and you don't see any notifications from me, then type in Sonya's Quilts and Embroidery and find me that way. But they also said that they will be deleting your Google account associated with that YouTube channel. So my technology deficit I have going on, I have no idea what they're talking about. But anyway, we'll see how that, everybody will know how that will affect, and it may not affect anybody. It may be, I don't know, I have no idea. I'm talking and making things up as I say it, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to get on this quilt, get this sucker done, and then this will be the last quilt I need to get done before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow I've got to work on the senior citizens float for the Christmas parade, but I will not be here for the Christmas parade. And I've got to make a 40-foot long by 18-inch high skirt for the bottom of this trailer that we're going to put the float on. And that'll be my job. And also I have got to make, let's see if I can show y'all what I got going on here. I've got to make the 3 stockings for the mantle of the, we're going to build a fireplace on our float. And this is one, it's Elgin, and the next stocking will say senior, and the next stocking will say center. And oh, by the way, I don't know if I'm a senior citizen or not. They lowered the age to 55, which I was in that category, and I like to do things with my community, so I joined and got voted onto the board of directors. So, but my part of building the float may be right here at my shop, because why should I spend hours making a 40-foot skirt and 3 Christmas stockings and then go and help do the rest of the float? See, you know, I'm just saying that's not fair. Plus, I have had 6 neck surgeries, and because of ruptured disc in my neck, and that sucker is giving me a fit. Started giving me a fit last night, and the pain manifests in my left arm, left shoulder, left arm, and that sucker has screaming for mercy. So anyway, I'm gonna get this put together for this lady down in Enterprise, Alabama, and get this thing quilted. And I will be showing the finished quilts later on, do a video on those later on today before they're shipped out tomorrow. They may not have the binding on them when I do the video, but you'll be able to see the quilting and the actual overall finished design. So thank you all so very much. I hope I answered your questions on how we try to stay organized in this unorganized shop and my unorganized brain. Thank you very much, and have a great day.